You wake up already defeated. Before you've checked your phone, before coffee, before anything, there's that weight. The day ahead feels like a threat, not an opportunity. Marcus Aurelius felt this too. Marcus Aurelius became emperor of Rome at 40, inheriting an empire in crisis. Plague ravaged the cities. Germanic tribes pressed the borders. Court conspiracies threatened his life. He commanded armies, managed senators who despised him, and made decisions that affected millions. He had no days off, no weekends, no retirement plan. Every morning, he woke to pressures that would crush most men. And yet his private journals, what we now call the Meditations, reveal a man who developed a specific morning practice to prepare his mind. He didn't write these as a book. He wrote them as reminders to himself, usually at dawn, in military camps on the frontier. Brief notes on how to face the day ahead without being overwhelmed. This was his psychological armor. The Stoic morning routine centers on a practice called premeditatio, premeditation of adversity. It literally means meditating beforehand, but it's not positive visualization. It's the opposite. It's mentally rehearsing what will go wrong today before you encounter it. Marcus wrote, "When you wake in the morning, tell yourself, 'Today I shall encounter the busybody, the ungrateful, the arrogant, the deceitful, the envious, the unsocial.'" He's not being pessimistic. He's removing the shock factor from reality. The Stoics understood something modern psychology has confirmed. We suffer most from the unexpected. When reality violates our expectations, we experience it as trauma. The gap between what we hope for and what actually happens is where anxiety lives. Premeditatio closes that gap preemptively. By mentally preparing for difficulty, you're not inviting it. You're removing your vulnerability to surprise. You're training your mind to recognize that obstacles are the default, not the exception. Here's the first technique, the morning obstacle preview. Before you check your phone, before you look at your calendar, sit for 3 minutes and mentally walk through your day. Not what you hope will happen, what will actually happen. Identify 3 specific challenges you'll face. Your boss who never responds, the client who'll change requirements again, the meeting that will run over, the traffic, your energy crash at 3 p.m. Name them specifically, see them clearly. Then, and this is crucial, mentally rehearse your response. Not what you'll do to solve the problem, but how you'll maintain your composure when it happens. Visualize staying calm. See yourself choosing your reaction rather than being hijacked by emotion. Let's take a specific example. You know your morning will include a confrontational email from that colleague. Instead of hoping it won't come, you expect it. You see yourself opening it. You feel that initial spike of irritation. But you've already decided, pause, breathe, respond at noon, not now. When the email actually arrives, you won't react from surprise. You'll recognize it. Ah, yes, the thing I knew would happen. That recognition alone creates space between stimulus and response. That space is where your power lives. The second technique, the control inventory. This comes directly from Epictetus, the Stoic philosopher who was once a slave. He taught the dichotomy of control, dividing everything into what you control and what you don't. In Greek, ta ephemin and ta uk ephemin. Each morning write 2 lists. Column 1, things you control today. Not outcomes, actions. Your effort level, your tone in conversations, whether you exercise, how much water you drink, the quality of your attention. Column 2, everything else. Look at column 2, traffic, other people's opinions, the economy, whether your work gets approved, whether clients respond, whether you get promoted. Now cross it all out, literally. Draw a line through it. You're done worrying about it before 9 a.m. This sounds simple, but watch what happens. You have a presentation this morning. You don't control whether they like it. You do control your preparation, your delivery, your clarity. When you shift your measurement of success from outcome to execution, anxiety drops immediately. Because you're no longer trying to control reality, you're controlling yourself. That's the only thing that was ever actually in your hands. The Stoics called this oikeiosis, the process of taking ownership of what truly belongs to you and releasing everything else. The third technique, the mortality reminder. This is where Stoicism gets its dark reputation, but it's actually the most liberating practice. The Stoics began each day with memento mori. Remember, you will die. not as morbid obsession, but as perspective correction. Marcus wrote this reminder to himself constantly: you could leave life right now. Let that determine what you do and say and think. He meant it practically. When you remember your time is finite, your coworker's passive-aggressive email becomes absurdly small. Each morning, ask yourself, if this were my last year, would today's planned anxieties matter? Would you spend mental energy on whether someone liked your comment in the meeting? Would you ruminate about the promotion that might or might not come? Here's the specific practice. Look at your list of tasks for today. Ask, if I had 6 months left, would I still do this? If yes, do it fully present. If no, understand you're choosing to spend your finite time on it anyway, so stop resenting it. This isn't about quitting your job or abandoning responsibilities. It's about bringing conscious choice to your effort. When you remember you're mortal, you stop performing your life for invisible judges. You start living deliberately. The difference is palpable within hours. Now, the common pitfall. People think Stoic morning practices mean expecting the worst and becoming cynical. They confuse preparation with pessimism. This is exactly wrong. Marcus wasn't depressed. He was clear. The difference is this. Pessimism says nothing good will happen, so why try? Stoic premeditation says difficulty will happen, so I'll be ready. One leads to resignation. The other leads to resilience. One withdraws from life. The other engages fully because it's not surprised. You're not visualizing failure. You're removing failure's power to destabilize you. When you expect only green lights and easy conversations, every red light becomes a crisis. When you expect resistance as baseline, you're psychologically prepared to push through it. The Stoics were also not suppressing emotion. Another misunderstanding. They were choosing when to feel it and how much power to give it. Big difference. You still feel frustrated when your coworker interrupts you for the 5th time. You just don't let it dictate your next 2 hours. Let's bring this together. Marcus Aurelius ruled an empire from the edge of chaos. You're managing life from the edge of overwhelm. The scale differs, but the internal challenge is identical. How do I stay centered when everything pulls me apart? His answer wasn't to control the world. It was to prepare his mind before the world made its demands. The morning was his strategic moment, the only time he controlled completely. Before the messengers arrived, before the battles, before the decisions, he equipped himself mentally. You have the same moment. Those first 10 minutes after waking, before the notifications, before the demands, that's your philosopher's hour. Not to plan your tasks. To prepare your mind for the reality of today, not the fantasy. Rehearse obstacles. Identify what you control. Remember your mortality. These aren't inspirational exercises. They're psychological technology developed by people who had no choice but to remain functional under extraordinary pressure, and they worked. The goal isn't to become Stoic lowercase, emotionless, detached. It's to become Stoic capital, clear-eyed, prepared, responsive instead of reactive. You'll still feel everything. You just won't be controlled by it. Tomorrow morning, before you reach for your phone, try the obstacle preview. Just 3 minutes. Identify what will challenge you. Rehearse your composure. See if the day feels different. If this reframes something for you, I'll see you in the next one.